Hello students. So today we are going to discuss about hierarchy of classification groups. So we discussed that it is basically in the order of kingdom, phylum or division, and then class, then order, then family, then genus, and then species. So species is a group of individuals with similar morphological characteristics which are able to breed among themselves and produce offspring of their own kind. Individuals of the same species resemble each other closely both structurally and functionally. So it is basically represent those individuals which have similar morphological structures and which are able to breed among themselves and produce the offspring of their own kind. Genus. It is a group of species which are related and have less characteristics in common as compared to species. Members of a genus have identical reproductive organs. Family. It is represented by a group of related genera that are more similar to each other than with the genera of other families. So family is basically related to a group of related genera, and that are more similar to each other than with the members of the other families. So order, it is an assemblage of families resembling one another in a few characters. So it is a assembly of families which resemble each other in a few or more characteristics. Class, it represents organisms of related organs. Phylum, it includes all organisms belonging to different classes having a few common characteristics. Kingdom, it includes all organisms which share set of distinguished common characters. So if we can look, organism is basically divided into prokaryotes and eukaryotes, then unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular and prokaryotes are monera, and then unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular and protista in eukaryotes, with cell wall and without cell wall. So with cell wall perform photosynthesis, and without cell wall does not perform photosynthesis. There are 5 kingdoms: monera, protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. So first we will discuss about monera. Monera are basically one-celled organisms. Cells have no membrane around the nucleus and reproduce by splitting into two, absorb nutrients from outside their bodies, and some monerans can cause diseases but others are helpful to people. Example, bacteria and amebia. So monera are basically one-celled organisms. They have cells. Their cells have no membrane around the nucleus and they reproduce by splitting in two. They absorb nutrients from outside their bodies, and some moneras cause diseases but others are also helpful to people. Protista. Protista are more than one celled, but some have many cells, and cells have a membrane around the nucleus. Some get nutrients and energy by eating other organisms, and some get energy from the sun and nutrients from the water around them, and most reproduce by splitting in two. So protista is basically one-cell organism, but also at times they are multicellular. Cells have a membrane around the nucleus, and some get nutrients and energy by eating their organisms, and some also get energy from the sun, and some get minerals, nutrients from the water around them, and they are basically reproduced by splitting in two. Example are paramecium and amoeba. Fungi. Fungi are basically heterotrophic eukaryotic cells, and they are saprophytes. We have discussed about saprophytes, and some of them live in close relationship with certain algae and plants, forming lichens and mycorrhizae. Some of them have the ability of being multicellular. So fungi are basically eukaryotic organisms, heterotrophic eukaryotic organisms, and they are also saprophytes, and they are made up of chitin. And some of them live in close relationship with certain algae and plants, forming lichens and mycorrhizae. Some of them have the ability of being multicellular also. So in the next class we'll start with plantae.